Oops. Yep. Let's see here. Yep. Let's see here. There we go. Guess who had their mic muted the whole last episode? I was sitting here talking to myself, explaining everything. Whatever. Where to even start? Last episode, as you probably saw, I've been doing this mission, been set up. I went and just dealt with a Destroyer K over here. The Xenon incursion is getting worse by the minute, it seems. And it looks like the Xenon activity is intense right now. The Xenon are pushing hard out into the universe, trying to kill everyone. No one is safe from the Xenon threat. So that's fun. I lost my Tacoba last episode. That made me angry, but oh well. Didn't have a save I wanted to revert back to. Don't know if I need to. I set up a blockade in Hoktiva's Choice to stem the tide of Xenon that were coming out. And it was pretty intense there for a minute. The Talati lost their shipyard, which is really bad because the Talati are constantly being invaded from the Xenon from over here. I don't have any idea of how these systems are faring. It's probably not good. I'd imagine that the outside border will change when the Xenon conquer these sectors and take over, so I don't think there's been a major shakeup just yet. It seems like the Patriarchy is still alive and well for now, but their situation is getting bad. Their Raptor is out of fighters. What else is going on? I did the whole race portion. I tried to explain it as best I could. If you're confused about the racing portion, leave a comment on that video. Last video. I can talk you through it, but based on everything I've shown on that last video, it should be pretty straightforward. I've made progress. Really, all the progress I've made is building up solar panels on this station, and then start making more and more hull parts. So this station is self-building, self-funding, self-building. I could reduce the station account to 0, and it will continue to make hull parts and then supply itself with hull parts. Or the dolphins I've assigned to it will now also continue to get the build storage supplied. Oh, I didn't have a builder assigned to the station. Whoops. I was going to assign this elephant. I was going to go look at this elephant, actually, to see if it was going to be available or not. I'd say the only sector that's really safe right now from the Xenon incursion is the Boron, believe it or not. Well, the Terrans are pushing back in Getsufune against the Xenon as well. So that's always fun. The Intervention Corps is hung up in the Void, and they're having a bad time over in Second Contact. They're trying to get out to the other Xenon threats, specifically this K over here that is making the Talati's life a living hell. But it's not looking good for the Talati right now. And if they lose their wharf and their shipyard, they're not going to be able to defend themselves for a while. So they are going to rely on the Intervention Corps. What are you fleeing from? Great. Well, at least it lived. It'll try again in a minute. Anyway, I hope you saw, I specifically made a save when this timer had around 27-ish minutes. You want to make a save that far out just in case you bring the wrong ship into this next section. And I'm not going to spoil that for you, so you'll just have to watch and see what happens and why you'd want to bring a ship out. Or not. I'll explain that part when I get there. Which will be very soon. somewhere around 6 minutes and 10 seconds from now, in fact. What else? It's basically the overview. The Raven prototype is out on auto trade. I made it trade with all the wares because I just anchored it in Windfall 3. And I don't care if I make a profit or not from this auto trade. It's just there to raise my reputation with the VIG in case I decide to make choices in the next part of the mission. So it's just moving goods around for the VIG in order to get reputation up for me. And the Raven prototype is the best ship to do this with because it can carry illicit goods without being scanned and pulled over by the police. Ooh, I should get the Earl King, but I don't have all the data vaults for the Earl King, and I don't have an extra large shipyard, so it's kind of just a useless vessel at this point. There's no point in getting the Earl King until you got an extra large shipyard and all the data vaults. I don't understand why they just oh, because there's marauders out here. They're pirates. Yep. Yeah. The Talata usually fight back pretty hard against the Xenon incursions, so it's kind of disheartening to see that they are not even bothering to protect their equipment dock. Oh wait, that's the Ministry's equipment dock. That's really disheartening to see the Ministry not come after that K for destroying their equipment dock then. They should be they have a huge revolving military force that's always in every one of these sectors. Like all these patrol destroyers and stuff. So they're keeping these sectors alive with their patrols, but they're not going out and saving the sector that's actually under attack, which is interesting. That'll be funny if that Ministry dock gets destroyed, or the Ministry equipment dock gets destroyed, because then they'll probably rebuild it in 18 billion. But I will need to start dealing with the Xenon incursion. That's why I loaded this one up with Laser Tower Mark IIs in the last video. Just like this one. These are also collecting drops right now on repeat orders. Repeat orders collect drops, and as you can see, there's a few million in his inventory right now that I can go get and exchange with a trade station, or a trading post, you should say, to make a few $1,000,000. So if you're struggling to make money farming the Xenon for parts, and it's not only a great way to make money, it's also a great way to set up well, that setup is great for getting modification parts for your ships. Tier 1 modification parts. I don't know about 2 and 3, those are more rare. But this is working out famously to handle the Xenon incursion. And the Xenon are pushing hard. They're keeping the Terran Intervention Corps occupied over in the second contact area of the map, I want to say. Oh, the Terran Intervention Corps finally dealt with it. But they don't have an Asgard out, so yikes.
Greetings, fellow denizens and voyagers. We sincerely hope that you found your way into safety, as the sun is now erupting. The tide will now travel through the system and, with violent force, damage stations and ships alike. Be safe.
So I'm waiting on the tide to come and damage everything. Actually, I should probably dock.
Docking aborted. Docking queued.
Queued? What is coming in to take my docking spot? Although hanging out this deep into the station shield should keep me safe. The tide doesn't deal that much damage. The sun should have exploded by now. There we go. I can't believe that whole last video was cheated. Or muted. That's okay though.
Danger. Hazardous region detected.
So that the station took the brunt of that. My ship is safely protected inside the... There we go. Protected inside the station shields. Now we just need to race over to... Notice I am taking damage on the shields, but that should stop very shortly. That's crazy to see the asteroids being launched across the system like that. Here we go. Next part of the quest. If you don't want spoilers, whatever. Or if you want to know how to do this part of the quest, keep paying attention. That's the best way to put it.
Entering system. Leap of faith.
Leap of faith.
And you are through. Initial measurements of the immediate area show no hazardous regions or other immediate threats nearby. In the log, the Nomad researcher spoke of finding an unnatural alien structure in the system. Assistant, let us see if we can find this intriguing construct. From what I can tell, this system seems to be subject to a phenomenon similar to the tide in the Avarice system. But these spikes in energy are far less frequent. Unlike Avarice, however, the source of the outburst appears to be a black hole which periodically emits radiation. But this is no reason to worry, Assistant. This event seems to release significantly less energy in comparison.
So now we're in a system connected to no jump gates. We've taken a leap of faith.
I can see the structure on my scanners, conducting an initial examination now. How utterly fascinating! Assistant, the structure in front of you here is incredibly old, to the point where I am having difficulties dating it correctly. My equipment cannot read the data, but an educated guess would be that this structure is astonishingly ancient. My hypothesis would be that it was abandoned by its architect several millennia ago. This means the structure is most likely to be of Sonan origin. It also explains why my attempts at replicating the Protecteeon condensate have failed so far. The Sonan are said to be in possession of technology vastly superior to that of the races we are currently in contact with. Unfortunately, we do not know much about them, other than they are in some way connected to the jump gates. I wonder what it was that they were doing here, and whether it was in some way related to the tide phenomenon. Hold on. We are not alone. According to my readings, yours is not the only vessel that has happened upon this structure.
Would you look at that? It is Bradley. What is he doing here?
He appears to be familiar with the structure already. Assistant? A second vessel is heading this way. Curiously, the new ship is of the same custom asteroid type.
Brad, finally, there you are. We agreed to do these resupply runs together, to cut down on the time we actually spend hauling the stuff back to our distribution center. Yeah, save it. I had North River Company business to deal with. Apparently a sore loser has been snooping around, and I had to throw them off, you know. What the? A great job you did. Look who just happened to sneak up on us here. Hey, you! What are you doing here? I can't believe you found our nowhere space. 7 years. We managed to keep this place secret for 7 years. What do we do now, Lee? Well, this is something best discussed in person. You, come on over for a little chat.
What a curious turn of events.
Their panicked reactions confirm that this is indeed where they obtain their Protecteeon. It is not really their product. It will be interesting to hear what they have to say for themselves. This feels like our best shot at finding a way to help the disenfranchised people of the Avarice system.
These guys might not be the smartest, but going to great lengths obfuscating that there's 2 of them sure shows that they have some savvy. Stay on your toes.
Yep, I am very interested in, what you call it, helping the people of the Avarice system. Because they will let me supply them with food and water, because they actually have a demand for that. Wink, wink. Except for they don't, and they don't need my help at all to survive.
Astrid.
Don't ask me how I know. Actually, you can ask me how I know, because I built a system inside Avarice to supply them with food, medical supplies, water, and I made no money off of it because they have no demand for those products, even though they're being exploited for those things by the syndicate. So, yeah, their artificial stress and problem is, well, artificial. It's just a story thing. So don't go into Avarice building stations thinking you're gonna make any profit out
Hydra.
of them.
Regal.
Now then, however, if you do make a energy cell factory in Avarice, you might
Astrid.
you might end up making a ton of money, but you'll have to find a source of Protecteeon,
Docking granted.
and you'll have to buy the special structure blueprint that protects your station from the tide.
It is incredible how the interior of a ship of this size can look so amazingly lavish. Great profit. They really are non...
So you came. Wise choice. This one has a good business sense. I can tell. Yes, and we will get to that. Now, if you don't mind me asking, how did you find this place? Ah, yes. I knew that our efforts to clean up should have been more thorough. It seems our contacts in the Vigor Syndicate are slipping. I paid them an obscene amount of credits to make you go away. And look where that has left us. Yes, well, clearly that did not work. So, how about we approach this from a different angle? As you probably figured out, this here is our very own golden goose. We have no idea what this whole construct is about. But we did figure out that we can use the condensate surrounding it as shielding against the tide. We are in a very unique position. The people of Avarice absolutely need it. Only we can provide it. Are you able to follow along so far? Good. Then you probably know where we are heading with this. Now, obviously we need you to keep quiet about this. We could try to kill you, but as you might have noticed, we are not thugs, and our ships are certainly not made to shoot anyone. I mean, sure, we could set the Vigor Syndicate on you again, throw waves and waves of hired gunmen at you until you are dead, and you would die eventually. But why should we? It's costly, and unpredictable, and by the time you are permanently done for, knowledge of this place might have spread throughout the entire universe, and we cannot risk that. Yes. So how about we offer you an unofficial position in this enterprise? You are here now. That means clearly the Vega Syndicate leadership is slipping. You could be the change of management we have been looking for. Of course, we would pay you handsomely. And who knows? If we get along well, we might even allow you to buy an Astrid-class ship of your own. You know what? Think about it. Take a look around this ship. Make sure to really take in all of the luxurious details. The exquisite wood paneling, that is authentic wood, by the way. None of that synthetic rubbish. And the marble flooring. Really think about what your next steps will look like. You could rise to the top with us. When you have made up your mind, speak with us again, and we will set everything in motion.
I seriously hope you're not considering this. We have both seen what their business practices do to people's lives. Lives snuffed out in a fraction of a second, day after day. They could have put an end to it any time they deemed fit. Oh, and to think that I defended them from criticism for so long, thinking that the Syndicate was the problem.
Assistant, if you have a moment, I have some interesting developments to report to you. As you entered this sumptuous ship, I was able to exploit a weakness in the ship computer's operating system. It appears that the Astrid's engines and systems are uniquely impressive, but the twins did not afford the same attention to detail to their internal security systems. I am happy to report that I have limited read access to their database, and I could potentially access a blueprint that would allow you to set up a condensate containment facility in direct competition with the twins. There is a slight caveat, though. I would not be able to copy the blueprint without them noticing, and I cannot guarantee that I can access this file for much longer. This means that you will need to decide whether to fall in line with the North River Company or strike out on your own and offer the Protecteeon at a much more affordable price. I'm afraid you cannot have your bofu and eat it.
Sure, if you seize this opportunity, then you could help the people of Avarice by offering Protecteeon at a significantly lower price. But if you really wanted to, you could also keep the price up to increase your own profits. Now, I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying. You know, it is an option.
Okay, so Protecteeon is going for... We can look. The Protecteeon is going for an obscene price of... Ooh. Almost 30... What is that? Almost 30,000 each? Which is, that's a pretty tidy sum of money for a wear to go for. The next most expensive thing in the galaxy right now is Computronic Substrate, going for 8,000 each. So yeah, you could definitely turn a good profit here. But the thing that this quest doesn't tell you is that all the stations in Avarice are automatically being supplied with Protecteeon via other means, like a script, or like the game's handling the resupply of Protecteeon to the stations automatically. Not even through ships and production methods, because there are no production methods except for this system technically. So basically, Protecteeon is being teleported to every station in the Avarice system except for any station you build. So that's why I wouldn't recommend building a station in Avarice, because your station will just either succumb to the wave or succumb to paying a ton of money to keep it alive. So if you don't know what you're doing and you want to build a station in Avarice, don't. You'll save yourself a ton of money. And then after you get a blueprint for the building to put Protecteeon in, And if you decide to steal the blueprint from these guys, that gives you a storage, Protecteeon storage facility. It needs a special storage to store it in, so it won't go into a container, solid, or liquid storage. It goes into its own special condensate storage. So you'll have to put that on a station, but it's not necessary. You don't need that to store Protecteon. You can store 5 at a time in the special shield building that protects your stations. But the most egregious of everything in this DLC is if you're trying to choose the moral high ground and sell the Protecteon at a much lower price, what you can do is grab a few Protecteon, of course betray these guys and steal their blueprint, right? Get a container ship that can, or steal an asteroid, because that will, you'll have a much easier chance of stealing the asteroid or both asteroids if you betray them, because Bosata makes it easier. So shoot at them in any ship, not just a pirate ship, but even the ship I brought out will be good for making these guys bail from their ship. The things to know about that are the asteroid shields are exceptionally good. So the shields are really strong, so it will take a while to burn down their shields. But as soon as you burn down through their shields, the hull is your average, or should I say less than average, hull value than regular. So after you've burst through their shields, when you start ripping apart their ship, it destroys very quickly. So you might want to just feather it on the fire key when you're trying to make them abandon ship. The other thing this DLC is lying to you about is being able to sell the Protecteon at a lower price. Not only are all stations being supplied with Protecteon by magic, basically teleporting it right into the station itself, but in order to get the achievement for selling Protecteon at a lower price, you'll have to go to any station besides Tidebreak and sell that Protecteon to that station when it says that it is any percentage below the average, usually like 5% or more. Once you make 2 or 3 sales like that, Dago bosses will calm you and compliment you on selling it at a lower price. The price you sell it at is still exorbitantly expensive. It doesn't dip under 20,000, I want to say. So you're still making an absurd amount of money when you choose the moral high ground. Now then, I bet the whole reason that some people are thinking, oh, well, I want to do this the avarice system would be great to sell wares to as well. Not really. They make everything they need. They don't really need anything from you, and there's no real profits to be made from avarice, except for energy cell production. Energy cell production in avarice is ridiculous, and you'll want to complete the storyline up to this point and further so that you can transport your own Protecteon and not pay the Protecteon fee if you set up an energy cell production in avarice, because it'll need that special shield building from the Riptide Rakers. So with that all out of the way, this is kind of an illusion of choice right here. There are some special things like going to war with a Vig temporarily. You do have to destroy a Vig station. I probably should have said spoilers, but you will have to destroy one Vig station, and you will have to pay them millions of dollars to then become friendly with you again, or whatever your rep was with them before they went hostile on you. So if you want to steal the Earl King, if you're going to choose that route, make sure to steal the Earl King well before you finish, you get the quest to this point. Other than that, I'm choosing a very different route here because I'm mad at Dagobas Lucabossus for stealing a medium parking spot on my station for so long. It took forever for me to figure out why my research wasn't progressing. and it was because I built a 1 medium, 6 small dock, and he parked his ship on that medium spot, and I couldn't figure out for the longest time how to make that ship leave. So I'm really mad at him for that. I'm still mad at him for that. I'm also mad because not only do choosing the moral high ground isn't really very good, because you're still charging the people of the system an exorbitant amount of money for Protecteeon, not at a significantly lower price like it's alluded to. And then the people of the Avarice system don't need any wares. They don't need food, water, medical supplies, unlike what you're led to believe that the Vigor is bleeding them dry for. They don't need any of that. That's just a flavor thing for the story. So I'm also mad about that. So that's why I'm going to make the choice I'm going to make.
This ship sure is something, is it not? Oh, the magnificent opulence of it all. That'll make anyone want to keep their mouth shut, right? We deserve to be on the top. With all your good work so far, you clearly deserve to be rewarded too. What do you say? Are you in?
I am so in.
Hold on. What?
Very well. We can't say it surprises us, given what we have to offer, but we are relieved nonetheless. I will transfer the payment of credits momentarily, as agreed. As I mentioned before, we are looking to replace the Vigor Syndicate as our right hand. We will get in touch again shortly.
This is incredible. How could you betray the people of Avarice like that? How dare you? I considered you a dear friend. We made profits together. You saved my life.
And I'm still mad at him for taking up that parking spot. He shouldn't have done that. Anyway, yep. So I just got paid 25 million for, you know. And I can now, at some point, buy an Astrid and then come in here and steal all the Protecteeon I want and then go sell it to Tiebreak to make more millions. So, yep. This is definitely a moneymaker, and this is the easiest way to go about it without going to war with the Vig. So, cool. Oh, and look at the objective.
We have contacted our Vigor Syndicate intermediary, but they do not seem to be receptive to the idea of a change in leadership. In order to facilitate a smooth transition of power between the Syndicate and yourself, you should demonstrate that you, yourself, are not one to be messed with. And what better way is there to do just that than to kill the leader? Surely that would do the trick. Oh, and you also need to clean up your own loose ends. Now, I don't know who you have worked for so far, but if there's anyone out there that could expose the company and its secrets, they need to be dealt with discreetly.
Well, I guess I had to kill Bosota and Dagobas's, Lucoblas's, something or other.
Docking aborted.
Because I hate Talati. And he's a Talati. He, she, whatever. I can't tell Talati apart. And I get 10 million. Look, I get another 10 million just for killing Dagobas Lucobas's. And he's in a merchant ship, so. Well. You're standing in the way of my profits, I guess. It's time to die. I'm sure that they'll understand as a Talati that 10 million credits is well worth somebody's death. Especially an annoying Talati. And if you ended up spending a ton of money on that racing ship and then lost it,
Entering system.
yeah, I'm sure you would like a little bit of revenge on that Talati that convinced you to buy a medium racing ship and then immediately lose it. So there's a little vengeance right there too. Let's figure out where that little turd's hiding. Oh. Oh yeah. In a merchant's ship? They're
Autopilot
dead.
engaged.
Good as dead. In fact, I could probably do it with my Barracuda, but I need to check on the state of the Xenon threat now that I'm
Entering Avarice 1.
leaving Avarice. And now I can just steal the Girl King at my leisure like I could before. So, no harm, no foul, I guess. Unless you want the other achievement. I would recommend making a save before you make a decision there, and then betray them, very quickly steal one of their ships. They actually sit there and wait for you to steal one of their ships, so don't attack them till Boso Ta says, "Oh, by the way, you can make a bailout of their ships." Then go ahead and attack the one that stays in Leap of Faith and steal his ship. You will need a container ship to haul Protecteeon. A trade ship, a mining ship,
Entering
or a gas
Avarice
miner ship
4.
cannot haul Protecteeon. You need an Astrid, or you need a Riptide Raker container ship, which has a much smaller carrying capacity than the Astrid.
Autopilot disengaged.
So steal an Astrid and transport some Protecteeon out of that system on your way back and sell it to don't sell it to Riptide. That'll break the objective. You need to sell it to any other station but Riptide, and you need to sell it at below the average price, so minus price. So not making money, losing money a little bit. And once you do that twice or 3 times, Dagobah will calm you and tell you whatever about. He'll calm you and tell
Entering
you,
system.
and when he does that,
Windfall.
that should pop the achievement. And if you do it fast enough, you can do that before the Vig get really hostile with you.
Autopilot
Because the Vig
engaged.
will get hostile with you as soon as you start attacking the Astrids. They also just get hostile with you during that plotline anyway. So, yep, if you want an Astrid like that, go for it. It will make the Vig hostile. So don't have any of your valuable ships in the Windfall regions
Entering Windfall
when you
1.
do that.
Union Summit.
Oh, he's coming right for me. The fool. Alright, did you drop all your satellites? You did. Oh. Alright, how bad's the threat out here? Pretty bad. Here. Ooh, it's real bad out here. The FRF are losing ground too. I'm going to have to deal with the Xenon threat personally. And start beating back the Xenon, because it looks like they're gaining significant footholds into everybody else's territory. That's not good. Where's this person at? Please tell me they're just in a ship and not on a station. So I will zip around and do that too.
Entering system. 18 billion.
You don't even get JP Morgan's knife when you go the other route, so don't even. Definitely make it save and betray him, pretty much.
So,
Oops, I should have listened to that. Oh well, give me your money. Ah, finally. Revenge never tasted so sweet. Revenge!
Autopilot engaged.
Revenge feels good. And then for the other achievement for the Protecteeon, you can either decide to go the route I'm going and buy an Astrid and go get some Protecteeon and sell it to Tide Break to get that achievement.
Entering system. Windfall.
Or you can attempt the other route, steal the Protecteeon, or steal the Protecteeon container from them when you're making the choice, steal an asteroid, and then grab up some Protecteon while you're still in Leap of Faith, and then go over and sell the Protecteon to Tidebreak. When you do that, Dagobah will contact you, complain that you sold it at above market prices, and then you'll get the achievement for that one too. So definitely worth it to make a save at that choice moment and then make a choice. You can even just straight up leave if you don't want to make a choice. You can just straight up go away and continue the whole sandbox and do the whole rest of the game, and then come back to that choice at the very end of the game if that's really what you want to do. Because you know how
Entering
to get
Windfall
into that
3,
system,
the Horde.
especially if you're watching this video. So if you didn't fully catch that and need another explanation of how to get into Leap of Faith, you need to wait for the tide to explode across the system, and it usually is cycled on like an hour, every half an hour, roughly, somewhere around 45 minutes to an hour. It will fire off and launch the tide across the system. So just wait for the tide to blow up across the system. Fly through the anomaly that's been marked with the nav beacon. Hopefully you destroyed all the other nav beacons, save for that one that marked that specific one. Jump in through that anomaly, go pick up more Protecteon, go and
Entering
sell it.
Windfall 4, Aurora's Dream.
That's pretty much how you do that. Pretty easy. I have a feeling that I'm staring at a station that I have to go blow up. And if I have to do that, there is an easier way for me to get a capital ship to go blow up stations with. I don't know how the Vigor will react to that, so you might want to bring a whole bunch of laser towers as well, because the Vig swarm you with fighters when you make them angry. So treating them like a Xenon threat and just loading this sector with like 200 satellite or laser towers in a small area will make short work of all the Vigor fighters that will come to attack you if you make them mad. And that indeed does
Unknown
look like a
station.
station. So cool. I am going to make a save before I get close, just in case this triggers them to be angry at me. Yep. And see how I overwrote that one because I already have gotten both of those other Protecteeon achievements already. So I don't need to, I'm not floundering to go get those achievements. I've already done this before. Well, I haven't done this part where you go kill this dude, and I haven't killed the Chalati before, so that was catharsis for me. For revenge for blocking my research for so long. And for lying to me about the people of Avarice needing any kind of resources from me to make money off of. They obviously didn't. They obviously don't. If it's not that obvious, go ahead. Go ahead and try to sell food and water and medical supplies to the people of Avarice. They don't need it. They don't want it. You're not going to make any money at it. So the leader of the syndicate is out here. Interesting.
Docking granted.
I wonder if I can convince them to leave the station and then I can go blow up the ship just like I did for the other.
Hello.
Hydra,
Just barely did for the
Regal.
Talati. Because that would make me happy. Because I don't want to sit here and slowly destroy a station. Where is the elevators? Maybe I just walk into the office and kill him. So he's in the manager Uh, he's a manager of the station. Hey, they just put my ship in
Hello there.
internal storage.
Good luck out there.
So there's no chance of him leaving the station at all. So I will in fact need to destroy the station. Wish I could just pull out my spacesuit blaster and blast him. But, guess I can't do that. There must be a ship coming in. Yep. Wait a second, what? None of my ships are in internal storage? What do you mean? It's in internal storage. I've watched them put it in there.
Mind the gap.
Mind your ears. Ow. My teleport range of this? Yes. Okay, I can go hunt down that. Is that cave still destroying the station? I can go hunt it down and strip it of all its weapons. It is a ministry equipment dock. I don't feel as bad about it. The ministry are kind of not on my good side. Alright, I need to get this one out here to deal with the problem at the void. So that way the Terran Intervention Corps will stop getting hung up out here in second contact. I also need to go get some more advanced satellites.
Customers are reminded that wares on the station are sold without warranties.
Thank you for the ear destruction. It's just what I wanted, is to not have ears anymore. Hopefully my mic has been unmuted. Alright, phew. If I was muted for like a second whole video, I don't know. I would have to reload a save and then have to remake all of this content all over again, and that just doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Damn Vig always trying to steal my ship. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's go provide cover for the... I want my Barracuda over here. We'll go provide cover for the Gorgon Sentinel while I set up a whole bunch of laser towers.
We have new orders. Navigation! Fly to the following position.
Affirmative.
Let's see here. How long's it been? What are these containers? Water. Alright, well, while we are waiting for that... Oh no, what's going on here? Is there a cave over here again? Nope, you're just running because you're a chicken. Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, now we got 50 million. I am a third of the way there to buying a small medium fab and really making some money. And I've got some tips for that as well, and they're a little more convoluted. So yeah, if you want to make money with a small medium fab, I will have a video coming up where I get one, make one, and then make more money than you are with yours right now, because I know something you don't. Potentially. So anyway, that was the finale. That was the finale of the Ties of Avarice. Well, we're not done yet. I still need to destroy their, and I still need to destroy their station over here.
Entering Windfall 3, the Horde.
That will kill the manager, hopefully, when I do that. But that is a long ways out, because I need to do something else in order to actually, I will need to do this mission here in order to get a free large destroyer that will be capable of destroying a station. So I'll probably do that within the next 1 or 2 videos. So keep an eye out on that. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. You know, if you're confused about anything, need some help with something, leave a comment down below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the way out. And I will see you in the next video.